What Guanuarados? Welcome to the Dewat Dunizakta podcast, Gatnigurio, episode 15. I'm your host, Abigail Jacobs, joined today by Drake D'Souza, the Workforce Development Coordinator, to talk about our ever-popular and successful programs, Path, and Builders of the Future. Thank you for joining us today, Drake.
Thanks for having me.
First, we want to talk about Path. Tell me all about it. What inspired the creation of the Path program?
First of all, Path is our professional advancement and training hub program. So essentially what it is, it's a modular program that brings together a bunch of different professional development opportunities and workshops for our community members. Really what inspired Path was creating some sort of program or training that could capture the needs of, the most community members that we possibly can. We have people coming in who are job seekers, people who are already employed but looking to upskill. We have business owners, and most programs kind of meet one or maybe two of those needs, but not really all of them. So this really brings together opportunities that any one of those individuals that I mentioned are able to participate in. And one of the great things is actually looking at kind of the cohorts of some of those. It's all of them mixed together, and seeing them learn together in one space really brings so many new and fresh perspectives and ideas. I would love to take full credit for the ideas and whatnot that inspired Path, but really it was brought on by the participants of the first and second cohort of the Administrative Assistant Bootcamp.
Oh, good job.
Yeah, so I'll give a shout out to them. Really, that was a 12-week program that focused on all the different skills that are required to kind of enter into the workforce in the administrative field. And so many of those have now become individual workshops within Path.
Okay.
But we know that not everyone is able to commit to a 12-week program. Right. And we also know that not everyone views themselves in this one linear career path. So we really wanted to break it up and provide additional opportunities that could serve, as I mentioned, those other fields as well.
And like you mentioned, we have programs and services here where we have like the Administrative Assistant Bootcamp or the Entrepreneurship course, where they're really much lengthier courses that really focus in on that specific thing. So how do these modular programs work? What do they have?
So to use our pilot as an example, this past year we used 6 intro courses. So some of those included digital marketing and Canva. Some of those included Excel, beginner and intermediate, project management. These tools and skills that are needed kind of cross careers or kind of regardless of what you do. And really what they do is they supplement those other programs. They're not there to replace them. No. There's tons of benefits that you can get from taking part in those administrative assistant bootcamps, within those entrepreneurial courses, even within post-secondary programs or vocational, going into those programs to really get a full understanding and the skill set needed for certain careers, but then supplementing that with different professional development opportunities available within Path or elsewhere. Cool.
Sounds nice. And how has the community responded to these workshops?
Better than I could have expected, honestly. It was great to see. I remember our first course that we put up for registration was that Canva and digital marketing class I had mentioned.
Okay.
And we kind of have an advanced announcement about 2 weeks prior, just so that people can kind of set their schedules, because it is a first come, first serve registration. So I want to give everyone a chance equally to be able to participate in these. And it opened up at a noon lunch hour. And so I was in the office throughout lunch, and I put on the little notifications for when somebody fills it out, expecting to get maybe, 2, 3, 4 throughout the lunch hour.
Yeah.
Instantly, it blew up. And before the lunch hour was over, we had enough to fill almost 2 cohorts.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So community response was positive. Definitely.
Very positive.
Cool.
Yeah. So much so we actually made a couple changes to the way it functioned kind of on the fly. We had a lot of them that were set for online, that were more of like a test model for some of these topics.
Okay.
And we actually ended up transitioning a lot of those to in-person, just for that added community building aspect within the cohorts, get them into our training center here.
Nice.
And allow them the opportunity to kind of meet face-to-face with their instructors, with each other, and also with the material and content of the course.
Amazing. So the content and material and the instructors, can you tell us a bit about that? Like you mentioned digital media and Canva and Excel. What were some of the original topics that Path covered? And will those be repeated?
So many of those from the original 6 will be the original 6. I think that's already trademarked. Many of those first pilot 6 workshops will be repeated. We've actually just kind of are in the final stages of confirming with a couple of or with NFSB about the workshop topics for this upcoming year, which will be starting in October.
Ooh, heard it here first.
So those first 6, like I said, included kind of a digital marketing, project management, Excel beginner and intermediate, some accounting, intro to to accounting, kind of accounting 101, and then
Cool.
Microsoft Suite. So covering everything else that wasn't mentioned within that kind of Excel. So covering a little bit of Word, Outlook, kind of the digital literacy basics.
Nice. And I love that. Like we mentioned before, like you were talking about, it's something that everybody can have access to in just little bite-sized modules, right? So like if you're an entrepreneur and you're looking to upskill your accounting or anything like that, sign up.
Exactly that. Exactly that. And I think that kind of resonates with the name a little bit. The acronym is Professional Advancement and Training Hub, but really what we focus on is the path. So regardless of where you are in your path, whether you're just starting out, whether you already have seen some success in your career and you're just looking for those small little bits of upskilling, there's really opportunities everywhere for you.
Amazing. And so now, together with Dewat Duni Zakta, who is supporting PATH program, how are we making this possible?
Yeah, so David Duni Zakta will actually be fully sponsoring the PATH program, and we've been working with our partners going back to that administrative assistant bootcamp with NFSB, so New Frontiers School Board. Many of you guys may know like Nova in Chattagee, that's the school board that runs that. They've been absolutely fantastic in supporting the community needs and really providing excellent training opportunities wherever or whatever we kind of ask for, wherever we see fit in terms of the topic. One thing we actually did this year is a little bit of a needs assessment, getting out into the community and asking community members what they want to see within this program.
Okay.
Because it's one thing to ask for participant feedback, and that's excellent. And I love that they've engaged back with the program and with our organization. But there's maybe a couple people that feel like that program didn't originally meet their needs. So I wanted to hear their needs as well.
Yeah, like we already have people who came in-house and we're going to get your feedback, but we want to be able to serve as many as we can. So what kind of feedback did you get from opening it up to the community?
We kind of got a wide range of topics.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So it really opened up the doors into what's possible. And I'll talk a little bit about that and where I want to see it go in the future,
Okay. Do tell.
Heading into the future, I really want to see it kind of become the central hub for professional development within the community. And the same way, I know one of the reasons that we created this program was in the past, we had so many different training opportunities that just weren't being heard from the community because they were so one-off. But as you know, with certain programs, they're more well-known than others. If you look at KSSEP, our summer student employment program,
Yeah.
I know me and my friends growing up, every summer we knew exactly where to look. When that job list came out, we were all kind of talking about which ones we wanted, which ones, who would be the best suited for each one.
Yes. And especially now, it's where it's that whole generational skip. You have parents who grew up with KSSEP who are now like, nope, my kids need a summer job. We're going to Kahnawà and I'm signing you up for that.
Yeah.
So to have that growth and that longevity in that program, that's what you want as well.
Exactly. Not only that, but as you mentioned, the kind of generational thing, I think PATH will bring a little bit of familiarity. It's at the same organization that they went through KSSEP with, and now there's going to be a training list for the upcoming year, similar to the job list, except one added benefit of this is that you don't only have to restrict yourself to one KSSP job. With PATH, you can sign up for as many trainings as you'd like.
That's so cool. Is this part of your long-term vision for PATH over the next 1 to 3 years? Where do you see us growing fully?
So as I mentioned, I really want to see it become a permanent hub for professional development within our community, not only for the participants, but also for the instructors. I would love to see more community members, and obviously this is a responsibility on our end as well, to kind of go out there and start this conversation and start to build these in-house curriculums and really engaging with knowledge keepers and with instructors and teachers that we have available within our community to start offering community members teaching other community members.
Nice.
So that's really one of my large goals. But also I think there is value in working with these school boards and post-secondary institutions, almost serving as a launch pad into these schools. So whether people are interested or maybe just a little bit timid about going to these post-secondary schools, right now in August, like we have so many parents who are, a little bit scared of their kids going into these different schools. And I know that being a former student myself and actually a current student, it is a little bit scary to enter some of these schools,
Entering an institution.
Yeah. With like right now I'm at McGill and so much history, large campus in the city.
It's a little overwhelming.
It could be at times, no doubt. Having this serve as a launch pad and working with these school boards to bring the instructors and some of these topics into our community and kind of build that comfort level before heading out into their schools.
Very cool. And of course, lastly, on terms of path, I mean, we're talking about our successes and how much excitement we've had. What's been some challenges maybe that you've seen? Because we always learn from our challenges, right?
No doubt. I mean, as mentioned, one of the quick transitions we made was focusing more in person. So with this one, we really just wanted to get it out as soon as possible. We were so excited about the idea and offering these types of trainings to our community, but we had a couple different things running simultaneously. So the whole logistical side, no doubt, posed some challenges there, but that's why we wanted to offer these 6 as a pilot. We didn't want to overcommit and underdeliver. So we really wanted to use these 6 as a test, and that was kind of communicated to many of our participants, and they were extremely understanding and provide some great feedback. But now we have kind of a consistent offering of trainings and workshops for this upcoming year, and I think they really kind of build on each other very well, but also, spreading it out so there's less overlap between the courses, so that just learn as much as possible or view 3 different topics that they really want to participate in. There'll be very little to no overlap, so they can kind of plan their year one training at a time.
Nice. And as far as, our partners that we've worked with PATH, with NFSB, and this has been really more of a course where you're getting technical aspects for administration and things. But we also have programs where you're working more with your hands. And I'm talking about Builders of the Future. We're in our 3rd cohort for Builders of the Future. And how is everything going with that program?
It's going well. So as you just mentioned, we finished up our 2nd cohort. So that was our midpoint, as we have 4 years of funding. And really what the Builders of the Future was created or proposed to address is the need for skilled tradespeople within our community. So what this program does is it covers entry-level topics into carpentry, electrical, and plumbing. And what it does is it gives pathways, whether they want to continue their educational path within these vocational systems. So with this program, we're partnered with Lester B. Pearson for electrical and plumbing.
Nice.
And then NFSB for carpentry. So it provides almost what we mentioned with PATH, building that comfort level within the community as it takes place at the FNRAC. So they're learning right here in the community alongside community members. And then should they choose to attend one of these schools afterwards, they have already kind of built a comfort level with some of the instructors, with the material, with the content. But it also gives an opportunity to, start to work within the community, because after the about 6 months of training they receive, there's actually a 6-week work placement where they're paired with a local contractor, so they can take these skills and the experiences that they learned in the classroom and apply it on a job site right here in our community.
So cool. And as you mentioned, we talked about it with PATH, where you're like, I want to see more, local knowledge keepers and professionals within Kahnawà being some of the instructors. And we do have that with Builders of the Future. How is that going?
It was great. So we actually, our plumbing instructor is from the community. And as I mentioned, it goes carpentry, electrical, plumbing. So it's a great way to kind of cap off the program and kind of lead into that work placement experience with local contractors, where they get a local instructor for the last two or so months of the program.
And how were things going with cohort 1 and 2? How was the response to our builders and where it's going as well?
The response has been good. It's creating a ton of opportunities in both of those pathways. So we have a number of people that have continued their work with the contractors that they were placed with. A couple that use that as a networking experience and kind of showed what they got, and then ended up with one of the other contractors we had within the program.
Cool.
And one great thing, and honestly, one of my favorite aspects of the program, is how many students have actually gone into electrical and plumbing.
Okay.
So during the intake process, during the first couple of weeks, we hear so much of, oh, well, I'm going to be a carpenter. Carpentry is what I'm interested in. And I think it's more so because of, the experiences that we have here. Like, so many of them have seen their fathers, their grandfathers do it. But then they get their hands on those electrical tools and those plumbing tools, and they just don't look back.
They get the spark.
You could say. So it's great to see kind of their view of their careers widen from being so focused and tunnel visioned on solely carpentry to opening up into plumbing and electrical, and even some different trades as well.
Nice. And the interest keeps building, right? We're on cohort 3, where we had quite a few applicants for this new cohort. And where is the program going after that?
So we have 8 spots available in each cohort. And this past cohort, so for cohort 3, we had nearly 20 applicants.
Wow.
So there is a ton of interest, and although we wish we can accept everyone, it is a kind of a fixed program, as we mentioned, with the funding and whatnot. But really, we're excited. Like, we're in the final stages of kind of finalizing this cohort and this schedule and everything to launch in that last week of September. And as with most programs, as you mentioned with PATH, there might be a little thing or a thing or two to work out in the first year or two. But now we're in year 3 of Builders of the Future, and we feel really confident about the offering that's available to them. And we're really excited for like the energy and interest that is coming from this cohort. So many of them mentioned word of mouth from previous participants, whether they were family members, whether they were friends, or whether they were just people that they kind of came across in a work experience or something like that.
Yeah.
So with that first one, really people were reacting to like a handful of ads that we had, posted across the community. But now it's become much more of that word of mouth interest that we're seeing.
And if somebody's interested in Builders of the Future, can they still get involved?
So as we mentioned, we have funding for 4 cohorts, and we just now are finalizing our 3rd cohort. So there is 1 cohort available. This will be coming in the following year, so 2026, 2027. And we always do open our applications in the early summer months. So this will be coming up likely in April, May of 2026 for the application for our final cohort.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for your time here today, Drake. And we're super excited for all of these programs. Where can people find all of the information that they need if they want to see program listings or application dates? Where should they go?
So we're going to be posting this all across the community, as many places that we can. But really the best place to keep in contact with us is across our social medias. And then also on our website, that's where you'll find most of the information. That's where I'm going to try to keep the training list the most consistent. So that's at dewa.ca/path. And then for Builds of the Future, it's dewa.ca/BOTF.
Yeah, well, go ahead, Drake, and have a wonderful day. We'll see all of you, our listeners, on our next podcast. Onigi wahi.